good news, weather, sports, events, cooking, music, and more right here on your Madison County Weather Channel. Watch at MadisonKYLive.com, YouTube, Facebook, and Roku. Madison County Emergency Management wants to remind you, know your zone. Check them out, Madison County Emergency Management, on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter.
The Home and Community-Based Waiver Program, funded by Medicaid and administered through the Madison County Health Department, enables senior adults or persons of any age with disabilities to continue to live in their own homes. Attendant care services include light housekeeping, personal care assistance, mobility assistance, and other services. Call the Home and Community-Based Waiver Program today to speak to program staff at 859-623-3441. That's 859-623-3441. 3441.
Metro Net Fiber. Love your internet. 100% fiber optic network for home, office, education, and business. Madison County Live and Good News is brought to you by these great sponsors. Hey everyone, big show tonight. I have Allison here filling in for Colleen, who has the week off. Welcome, Allison.
Hi.
Allison is my niece. Perhaps you've seen Allison out and about taking pictures and videos and doing interviews for Madison County Live.
A lot of them.
Hey, we got coming up next, we're going to talk about the weekend weather outlook, of course, from the Madison County Live Weather Cam forecast, 24/7, 365. Watch it all the time, anytime at MadisonKYLive.com. And, of course, we're going to have Phil Seifert on from the Battle of Richmond. He's going to talk about Lifesaver Collection and a special segment with Philip again about pill bottle collection. He's going to tell you all about that. And we have a special segment from the Richmond Register and Ricky Pryor with Dr. Jessica Clanarud, Director of the Carter G. Woodson Center for Interracial Education at Berea College. And, of course, we're going to have
our exercise segment with Candace and also our weekly cane pole fishing report.
That's right. Coming up next, folks. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Visit MadisonKYLive.com 24/7 and watch good news, local weather forecasts, daily sports updates, and upcoming events 24/7. Madison County Live. It's good news. Hey everybody, welcome back to the show. Allison, glad to have you. So how was the storm damage down at Baldwin?
It was pretty significant. One of the barns got totally destroyed.
Oh
yeah.
no, I've seen a lot of barn footage, a lot of trees down. The wind will take care of these weak trees.
Yeah, and we still don't have power out there, so it's really cold.
That's right.
It's really cold.
I bet so. So you'll just snuggle up with your two pigs.
Yes, my pigs and dogs.
What are their names?
All of them. Penny and Chi Chi.
Oh,
yeah.
they're much bigger than they used to be. I
They're
used to
way
hold
bigger.
them like this.
I know, and
do
now
that
they're
anymore.
like this.
So it takes two people. Takes two people to hold them. Hey, we want to tell everybody we do have the 24-hour Madison County Live Weather Cam forecast right there in the studio, right here above the cane pole, right here in Southern Hills Plaza. Tune in, see that exclusive 3-day forecast for Madison County.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, do you know Phil Seifert at the Battle of Richmond?
I don't.
Well,
I don't know him.
you are about to. I went out and interviewed Philip about the Lifesaver Collection Program. And I am talking about the individually wrapped lifesavers. Watch Philip now. Madison County Live and Good News is brought to you by these great sponsors. Hey everybody, Madison County Live. I'm here with Phil Seifert. You got something going on regarding Lifesaver
We
candies.
got something going on. There are 3 ways to know that spring has come to Richmond, Berea, and Madison County. The first one is the daffodils or buttercups are sprouting up. They're a little early this year, but they're stopping by for their annual visit. Number 2, you see robins in the yard, and they're coming back. And the third one is you get the opportunity to be a Battle of Richmond lifesaver by bringing bags of lifesavers, individually wrapped lifesavers, to the Battle of Richmond Visitor Center from now until April the 30th, and we'll get them over to a group in Lexington called Military Missions, and they will put them into care packages for our military personnel, both in serving here and abroad. It's so easy. Everybody can relate to lifesavers. You're 5 years old, you've gone to church or someplace, and you get to squirming, and Grandma always has that lifesaver. So we're sending a little bit of home to everybody who is defending us. And but butter rounds are awful good. So
where are you located?
we're located at 101 Battlefield Memorial Highway, which is at the split of US 25 421. Big flagpole out front. If for some reason no one is here, just leave your donation on one of the benches on the front porch. We'll take care of them.
All right. Hey,
Just
thanks,
remember,
Philip.
the main thing is they have to be individually wrapped.
Individually wrapped. That's right.
That's right. That's key. And the hard candies, not the gummies.
All right.
So,
hey, thank you,
we
Philip.
look forward to seeing you.
Hey, thanks to Philip for agreeing to do the interview, and you can collect those from the dates that he give in the interview section of the show. And also, he is also collecting pill bottles. And for what, you say? Are you interested in that?
I'm interested.
All right.
I'm
Here's
interested.
Philip to tell us about the pill bottle collection, which goes on all year. Madison County Live and Good News is brought to you by these great sponsors. Wow, I heard something about pill bottles and the pill bottle man. Wait, there he is.
You have something at home. Everybody's got them. And you have no idea what to do with them. Empty pill bottles. An idea came up last year with the 3 Madison County Daughters of the American Revolution chapter and the Battle of Richmond Visitor Center. The Daughters of the American Revolution have been collecting pill bottles for quite a while, but nobody really knew it. It was kind of an internal thing for them. Well, it was too good of an idea not to open up to the general public. So the 3 chapters and the Battle of Richmond Visitor Center partnered into collecting empty pill bottles. Now, the first thing you're going to ask is, what are you going to do with them? They go to an organization in Cincinnati, and they are put into medical supply shipments that go overseas. Because here we get our medicine in a pill bottle. They may get it in a pill bottle. It might be in a plastic bag. It might be just here. Thank you very much. All we ask is absolutely, positively, no medication. No bottles that have had liquid in them. The labels have to be removed to the best of your ability. And they have to be washed out. And then you can bring them out here to the Battle of Richmond Visitor Center. And when we get a batch together, we send them up there to Cincinnati. It's so easy to make a difference. Everybody can do it.
And you do this all year long.
We started on 1st of January, and now it's toward the end of February, early March. We've already sent nearly 1,000 pill bottles.
Wow.
Already.
Wow. And where are you located, Philip?
We are located at 101 Battlefield Memorial Highway at the split of US 25 and 421. Big flagpole out front. And if for some reason no one is here, just leave your donation on one of the benches out front. We'll take care of them. If you have any questions about this, there's some guidelines with this. Give us a call at 859-624-0013.
All right. Thanks, Philip. Always something good going on at the Battle of Richmond Visitor Center.
That's right. Make a difference.
For more information, make sure you contact the Battle of Richmond Association. You can hit them up on Facebook, give them a call to find out all the details about the Lifesaver Collection Program and the Pill Bottle Collection Program. And the Lifesaver Program will be running out earlier, and of course they do the Pill Bottle Collection all year long. Hey, did you know Black History Month was in February?
Yeah.
So part of the continuing segment, Madison County Live in the Richmond Register companion piece, Ricky Pryor, the editor of the Richmond Register, she went down and she interviewed Dr. Jessica Clanerud, director of the Carter G. Woodson Center for Interracial Education at Berea College. Watch this segment. It's very, very interesting, folks.
So Carter G. Woodson came to Berea in the late 1800s. He actually graduated from Berea College with a literature degree in 1904. So one of the things that I think is really fun about Carter G. Woodson, especially in the age of education that we're in now, is he actually was one of our first virtual students in a way.
Oh,
He
wow.
he completed the majority of his coursework in the last couple of years by correspondence course while he was a principal of a black high school in West Virginia. So, you know, we think of this age of, you know, doing your classes remotely and logging in and turning in your assignments virtually. And yeah, that part's new. The computer part is new, but the completing your assignments remotely and engaging with your teachers from far away, that part isn't very new. So it's fun to think of how Carter G. Woodson was so invested in education that he was actually serving as a teacher and a principal for black Appalachian children that were the children of coal miners in West Virginia while he was finishing his first degree here at Berea College.
Now, we were in the archives, and I had a question, and it's kind of amazing what Carter G. Woodson was able to accomplish given his background. It's my understanding that his parents were former slaves that were working, you know, in a coal mine and had, you know, no formal schooling, but were they illiterate? And Carter G. Woodson was very much self-taught, right? Self-educated at a young age.
Yeah, you know, we don't really know the degree of literacy that Carter G. Woodson's parents had.
Okay.
But I can speak to this in terms of general trends of emancipated freed people. That was the highest priority. When we look at the number of black people that gained literacy within a very short period after enslavement, it is literally the fastest group of people ever to gain literacy in world history that we know of. So this is like a huge, huge moment. And I think a lot of Mary McLeod Bethune, who was one of the early folks involved with the Association for the Study of Negro Life and History, the organization that Carter G. Woodson created. Dr. Bethune was, I think, the third president of the organization. So a woman as the president of this organization very, very early in its lifespan, she taught folks how to read at what is now Bethune-Cookman University, so a historically black college and university. And that whole process of gaining literacy was immensely important. So whether his parents were formally schooled or not, they would have been a part of this huge community of folks that prioritized education and literacy very quickly after enslavement.
Well, Carter G. Woodson, that was his main goal in life, was to be a teacher, and it seemed like there was, I mean, he worked in the coal mines, but it was a kind of a struggle to get to actually teaching, and I think he had to teach in the Philippines too. So kind of, what kind of drove him to have this? Is it the background of just being, you know, just one generation removed from being enslaved to having this knowledge and this information?
One of the things that I think is really important is, so we think about Carter G. Woodson, of course. We talk about him from Berea because we love that we have that connection to him. But he went on from here to study at the University of Chicago, where he got a second bachelor's degree and his master's degree. And then he went on to become the second person to get a PhD from Harvard, right behind W.E.B. Du Bois. And
in good company.
in very, very good company. But also, I think very importantly, he's the only one that was the child of formerly enslaved people. So the fact that education was so important to him, the fact that he looked at people that were like him, that were black, that were Appalachian, that were coal miners, that were working people, and said they need education just as much as someone who perhaps has more advantages in this world. And so teaching was incredibly important to him, and really resourcing teachers to help them have the best possible materials to be able to teach. And so one thing I think that we don't talk about enough is the degree that, you know, Carter G. Woodson wrote the first Black history textbooks. He wrote the first materials for K-12 teachers to be able to really produce the best quality history for students to learn the history of their people, to learn literature, to learn the accomplishments of Black Americans as a part of American history and as a foundational piece of what makes our country unique. So I think that that to me has been a very meaningful part of his work. And I think to some degree, the most meaningful part, I mean, that's the part of the legacy that I think we are really doing a good job at continuing that is really, really important. And in fact, last year we had author Jarvis Givens, who is currently a professor at Harvard, come and talk about Carter G. Woodson's work specifically and how he helped resource teachers that created this whole multiple generations of Black teachers that were heavily involved in helping to make sure that Black students knew their history and knew their story. And it's a really important and powerful piece of his work. So it isn't, all the organization and the Journal of African American History, and those things are wonderful. But from the very beginning, the Association for the Study of Now African American Life and History has been dedicated to producing materials to help secondary teachers and not just folks at higher ed. So it's always been a broad understanding of what Black history is.
It's amazing, and I didn't know that he was the correspondence student. Makes sense though when you look at the timeline. That's amazing. So why do you think he had even if he was a correspondent, we saw letters where he kept in touch with Berea College. Why do you think that relationship and his time here and kind of stayed with him for his life?
Well, I think that the world that Berea was when he was here was a very special place. For Berea to be the first interracial and coeducational college in the South, that was a really important thing. And I think it also led to Dr. Woodson not really ever being able to buy into some of the segregationist impulses that were so prevalent in his time. For him, it really was about interracial education and the fact that you can't have equality until everybody is able to interact with each other equally. You can't, raise up Black people above white people. It really has to be something where everybody is working together in common community. And so I think that was really something that made Berea very special. And it was a place where he had an opportunity to also study liberal arts. I talk about this a lot with my students sometimes because a lot of Black education in the late 19th century, early 20th century was a technical education. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with that. We think of sort of similar institutions in a way like Tuskegee mm-hmm. in Alabama. You're getting a wonderful skills-based education that prepares you for a job. But what I always tell my students is that one of the beautiful things about the liberal arts is it prepares you for the jobs that we don't know about yet. Mm. We don't know that the jobs that are going to be in 10 years are the same jobs that we have today. And so we can have all kinds of preparation to help you with a career path now, but if we're not helping you learn how to read carefully and how to think critically and how to communicate your ideas clearly, that's the goal of a liberal arts education. And so the fact that Carter G. Woodson was able to come here and, from a working class background, from, perhaps needing some of those additional supports that we provide for students, that gave him an opportunity then to study literature, to study history. We had Black students studying music in the early, years of Berea College when we were integrated. And I think those things are really, really critical to the whole student and not just, preparing you for a career as a bricklayer or a accountant or a bookkeeper, whatever the careers were that they were preparing for in those days, or just preparing to be a teacher, mm-hmm. which was a lot of our early students as well. So it was a combination of those technical skills and that broader liberal arts perspective.
Why do you think that his vision to have and teach and have a Black History Month and to teach Black history, why do you think that has persisted through, we're still talking about Carter G. Woodson and what he created and his dream and his goal today, and still putting resources to it and still, shaping and trying to get that found more foundation laid for future generations. Why do you think it has persisted?
One, I think that the fact that there is such a rich, robust story for the contributions that African American people have made to this country and to the world, truthfully. While I am a U.S. historian by training, I look at it all in the concept of what we've done globally. It's hard to understand, I think, who we are as a nation if we're just looking in isolation. It's good to look at how we interact with everyone else too, so clarifying point. But I think that his point that there are all these rich contributions, there are all these places that Black people have been a part of our story and a part of the body politic, and as Americans, as a part of this mosaic of the country that we live in. And I think that that was an important piece. I also think the man was incredibly prolific. I mean, when you look at all of the work that he produced in his lifetime, and he died relatively young comparatively, and still left just an absolute indelible mark on the field of Black history, in a way that was, of course, very professional, very, very research oriented, very evidence-based, to use kind of one of our modern terms. But I think that that's part of why we remember him still. And the other reason is I think we're still having these same conversations. There's still conversations about, why do we need to study Black history? Why is it important for everybody to know the contributions of Black Americans to our society? And I think that because we're still asking those questions, Woodson's work remains really relevant. And that's just something that I'm excited to see in terms of how it continues into the 21st century. I'm actively involved in the Association for the Study of African American Life and History. I'm on the programming committee actually for next year's conference. But we'll be having, I think, our 108th annual conference in Jacksonville, Florida.
Wow.
In the fall. And so his work continues with a robust organization, and the amount of prize-winning books in Black history in this last year have been just outstanding. There's been some really amazing work done in that world as well.
Absolutely. And like I said, to have a person of that standing attend Berea College, I mean, obviously we have the Carter G. Woodson Center, and I like what you said. He was probably inspired by the integrated education that the great commitments of Berea College seems to keep furthering out in these spokes into Appalachia and beyond. So it's kind of very nice to have this person of such prestige to be from our community and be from Berea College. I know you guys are proud.
Yes, very much so. I will say this. I think one thing that did sort of set him apart from W.E.B. Du Bois in ways that I think Berea may have had something to do with is Du Bois grew up with more connections to white philanthropy. And Carter G. Woodson did not grow up that way. His connections were to working class, working Black Appalachian people. And so being able to be connected to Berea College, being able to connect to the networks of people that were here, that knew of him, that were able to speak on his behalf into those circles where people had money that were willing to donate to the startup of, his organization and the journal and things of that sort. That's actually one other thing. It's not Berea specific, but I think it's amazing. Carter G. Woodson self-funded the publication of the journal for like a long time. Wow. Because it was so important to him that work get out into the world, it really kind of was his life. He never married, never had children, and so there are, familial descendants, but they're his great nieces and nephews, not, his children. And so to many people, he said, this work is my legacy. It is my family. Like this is what you're going to get from me, is this robust work. And, today I think sometimes we make that choice less and less. More of us try to have all of the things. We try to have the family and the career. And I think that for him, the work was so important that that was his pretty much sole priority. And so I think Berea possibly played a role in terms of helping him to reach some of that goal and connecting him to like-minded individuals that could help him, meet that. But he definitely really put his money and time where his mouth was and worked hard to make real his vision of what Black history could look like.
Well, I mean, definitely, and I think that goes back to the work ethic of Carter G. Woodson. I mean, he worked in the mines and had to delay schooling. I don't think he even started high school until age 18.
Yeah.
Which, I mean, people.
And then he got through it really quick because he was real smart. But yeah, that was definitely a challenge for him.
I mean, going into the mines in West Virginia, I mean, that had to have been, obviously difficult, especially when someone is, their mind is in academia.
Yeah. But there's an important connection there. I think when you look at Black coal mining towns in eastern Kentucky, many of them had wonderful school systems that had wonderful Black teachers because the Black coal miners were able to come together and say, we will accept some of these conditions, but we're going to have the best schools for our children and we're going to have above average housing. And, so they made some demands on their employer to make sure that they got their needs met. And education was always a very high community value.
Excellent. Well, it makes sense. I mean, it's something he held near and dear to his heart for the rest of his life, and here we are talking about it.
Here we are.
Educating others. So that's great. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much for watching tonight's Priority Report. Join me next week when I tell you more news you need to know about.
And that happens all right at Berea College. Carter G. Woodson, really the father of Black history, which is fascinating, right down the street at Berea College. That's pretty cool. What we got coming up next, Allison?
Our exercise segment with Candace.
All right, let's see what Candace and Oakley's doing. Madison County Live and Good News is brought to you by these great sponsors.
Hey y'all, it's time to exercise with Candace. Let's go ahead and get the warm-up started. Arm circles. Now backwards. Jumping jacks. Good, let's go elbow to knee. Hands on your hips, side to side. Hands up, touch those toes. All right, let's go down to those fast feet. Have a seat. Let's do 3 setups. Here we go. There's 1 and 2 and 3. Now Superman, push up. Superman, push all the way up. Now we're going to jog in place. Super speed, slow motion. Awesome. All right, so it is March, and we are going to do a plank challenge this month. So every exercise this month, we are going to do certain planks. So today we're just going to do regular plank up like this. All right, so try to keep your core tight, and you're going to try to hold it as long as you can. So I went from holding it just 10 seconds all the way to 2 minutes. So it's totally up to you what you want to make your goal. But when you start shaking, embrace that shake. All right, so go be great, go be excellent to each other, and push through things that are hard. Have a great one, y'all.
Madison County Live and Good News is brought to you by these great sponsors. Thanks to Candace and Oakley for the exercise segments. You can always see they have a complete playlist on YouTube. Check them out, Exercise with Candace. But first, make sure you consult your physician before you do any strenuous exercises. Well, I think that's about wraps up the show.
Yeah.
Big show.
Our weekly cane pole fishing report.
That's right. And that's Colleen's favorite segment. Is that yours?
Is it? I mean, I love fishing.
Well,
I love fishing.
You love fishing.
Yeah.
And the irony of that is, Colleen, she's never been fishing.
What? I'll take her fishing.
Said. That's what we said. She
We'll
should go
have to take
fishing
her.
with Allison.
Yes.
You got to take her fishing.
We'll take her fishing.
And we will videotape the whole
Yes.
thing. How about that,
Yes,
Sydney?
let's
You
do
good
it.
for that?
I don't like fishing either.
No,
Sydney doesn't like
you
fishing
can go
either.
fishing.
They would eat our fish. Well, I don't think Colleen likes to eat fish
I
either,
don't
does
eat
she?
fish.
Oh, Colleen. Stuart, how do you do it? You're a saint. Boy, when Colleen's not on the show, she gets skewered pretty bad, doesn't she?
Yeah, but now I know I'm going to take her fishing.
Yeah, you got to take her fishing. All right, everybody. Thanks for watching. Thanks to our sponsors, and we'll see you next week. And remember, be kind, treat others how you want to be treated, and check on your neighbor because why, Sydney?
They might need something.
They might need something. Thanks for watching, everybody. Madison County Live and Good News is brought to you by these great sponsors.
Alert FM is your new device for in-home emergency alerts, provided by Madison County Emergency Management Agency and the Chemical Stockpile Emergency Preparedness Program, or CSEP. This device will alert you to chemical emergencies at the Bluegrass Army Depot, as well as severe weather impacting Madison County, Kentucky. These devices should stay with the home or business they were shipped to, because they will only work in the zone they are programmed for. Wondering about your old Advisor Alert radio? We will properly recycle these old units. Simply drop yours off to a recycling container at one of these locations. Madison County Emergency Operations Center, Madison County Road Department North, Madison County Road Department South, or Berea Utilities. If you need further assistance or have questions about Alert FM, please contact Madison County EMA CSEP. Madison County EMA CSEP, your partner in preparedness.
The weekly Kentucky Fish and Wildlife Fishing Report, brought to you by the Cain Pole in Southern Hills Plaza.
This is Jeff Crosby with the Central District Fishing Report. Lake temperatures across the district are running in the mid-40s to lower 50s. Don't forget that March 1st marks the beginning of a new year for your fishing licenses. So get out or go online and purchase your new license today. Additionally, don't forget to check out the Fishing and Boating Guide for new fishing regulations for 2023. We are very close to the beginning of the spring fishing season. It's a great time of year to start preparing for the spring white bass run on the Salt and Dix Rivers, located in the headwaters of Taylorsville and Harrington Lakes. Water temperatures are quickly approaching those levels needed for those white bass to start moving. As the water temperatures warm into the mid-50s and lower 60s, white bass will move into the upper portions of these lakes, and will be a great time to catch a few of these fish. Try your luck using crankbaits, rattle traps, inline spinners, or white curly-tail grubs are some great baits to catch a few of these fish. Additionally, while the white bass are up there in the Salt River in the upper portions of Taylorsville, Saugeye will also move up and will be a great opportunity for catching a few of those. It's a great time of year also to get out and start fishing for some largemouth bass, especially in farm ponds, but always remember to ask for permission before fishing any private waters. This time of year, a lot of the larger females are moving shallow in preparation for the spawn in the upcoming months. So it's a great time of year to catch some of the larger fish of the year. You can try your luck fishing with creature baits or jigs, as well as throwing crankbaits and jerk baits can be very productive this time of year on many area waters. So grab a pole, enjoy some great early season action, and I hope to see you on the water.
Things that folks need: food, shelter, clothing, medical care, transportation, and more. That's where the GoDirectory.info website comes in. Community agencies and churches are providing services that folks need across Madison and Estill counties, including Richmond, Berea, and Irvin, while bringing everyone together for the common good. Visit GoDirectory.info now and see how you or your agency and organization can make our community stronger by combining all of our individual strengths into one solid, purpose-driven mission.
Becoming a new parent can be an overwhelming experience. And babies don't come with instruction manuals. The HANDS program is available to answer your questions and provide you with the needed support. The HANDS program is free and available to new and expectant moms and for dads by joining the program during pregnancy or any time before the child is 3 months old. Let us help you handle the stresses that new families face by calling the Madison County Health Department, 859-626-4263.
MetroNet Fiber. Love your internet. 100% fiber optic network for home, office, education, and business.
The Home and Community-Based Waiver Program, funded by Medicaid and administered through the Madison County Health Department, enables senior adults or persons of any age with disabilities to continue to live in their own homes. Attendant care services include light housekeeping, personal care assistance, mobility assistance, and other services. Call the Home and Community-Based Waiver Program today to speak to program staff at 859-623-3441. That's 859-623-3441.
Good news, weather, sports, events, cooking, music, and more right here on your Madison County Weather Channel. Watch at MadisonKYLive.com, YouTube, Facebook, and Roku. Visit MadisonKYLive.com 24/7 and watch good news, local weather forecasts, daily sports updates, and upcoming events 24/7. Madison County Live. It's good news.